Few figures in history have achieved the legendary status of Alexander the Great. By the time of his death in 323 BCE, at just 32 years old, he had conquered an empire stretching from Greece to Egypt and deep into India. Yet despite his fame, one of history's greatest mysteries remains unsolved. Where is Alexander the Great buried? According to ancient sources, Alexander died in the city of Babylon, possibly from fever, poisoning, or natural illness. The cause of his death remains debated. His body, however, was said to be placed in a golden sarcophagus, carried in a grand funeral procession that was unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. The funeral carriage itself was described as a moving temple, covered in jewels and pulled by 64 mules. Originally, his remains were meant to be returned to Macedonia, his homeland. But history took a twist. One of his generals, Ptolemy I, hijacked the procession and brought Alexander's body to Egypt, where he established himself as ruler. To the Egyptians, Alexander was more than a conqueror. He was a pharaoh. Ptolemy placed him in a magnificent tomb in the city of Memphis, and later his body was moved to Alexandria, the city Alexander himself had founded. For centuries, the tomb of Alexander became a site of pilgrimage. Roman emperors such as Julius Caesar and Augustus visited the tomb to pay homage. Historical accounts describe Alexander's body as astonishingly well-preserved, lying in clear glass or crystal coffins, a marvel that seemed almost divine. But then, the records fall silent. Sometime between the 4th and 5th centuries CE, the tomb's location was lost. Wars, earthquakes, and the shifting sands of history may have erased its trail. Today, archaeologists and historians debate endlessly. Is Alexander's tomb buried under modern-day Alexandria, beneath buildings and streets? Could it lie undiscovered in the desert? Or was it destroyed entirely? The mystery of Alexander's missing tomb has inspired explorers for centuries. Dozens of excavations in and around Alexandria have searched for it, but none have found conclusive proof. For now, Alexander remains the king without a grave, his final resting place, one of the greatest unsolved riddles of antiquity. On Historical Story YT, the lost tomb of Alexander reminds us that even the greatest conquerors cannot escape the mysteries of time. Stay tuned for Part 3, Cleopatra and Mark Antony, the lover's tomb lost to the sea.